Hi y'all. So as you can see, I am here, grateful to God that I have another day, as we all should be. Now look, I'm vlogging tonight and I'm trying to go live on this YouTube and I can't for some reason because I don't have an established account yet. So I guess we're just gonna have to establish this account pretty damn well so I can at least go live. So I'm going to do some of this palette tonight. I'm going to vlog about some issues that are going on and just some things that kind of have really been triggering me and got me thinking. So I've been staying away from social media, for those of you who aren't aware. It's something that I do when, like, the world is in chaos and everyone's just treating each other like we're not equal, and there's a lot of arguments and just false information going around on social media. So when that happens, I literally just like make a happy post, a positive post, hoping that that will maybe influence someone not to be a hater, or so be a lover, and then I'm out. And I've been watching a lot of YouTube and I just can't get this off my brain. I wanted to talk about it briefly because this is like a situation that I can relate to, and you know, it's Suicide Awareness Month. For those of you who may not know that, it's Suicide Awareness Month. I've lost people that I love to suicide. I've loved to suicide. I've committed suicide. I'm a ghost, y'all. Not a funny joke. I attempted suicide in the past, a long time ago, and it always has like a special place to my heart. And you know, when I see situations and when I see people taking advantage of people who may be depressed or sad, it really just upsets me. And I don't care if I know the person or not. I don't care if they're a celebrity, an entertainer, if they put themselves in this situation. I have empathy for people, especially when it comes to like depression and suicide. And I am pretty hip to when someone's depressed. It's something I go through still, not on a daily basis, thank God, but it's something I used to go through on a daily basis. So I'm pretty well aware of when people are feeling depressed. Okay, so I was watching YouTube, and if y'all don't know, there is a free Britney campaign. Not campaign. Well, yeah, it's a hashtag that's been going around. It's called Free Britney. And what's been going on with Britney since she's been the past 12 years is she's in a conservatorship. For those of you who do not know what that means, a conservatorship means that someone else has control basically over her life, not just her finances, not anything else, but literally like every aspect of her life. It's not just like her finances or that, okay? It's basically, no, it is in some cases, such as Britney Spears, her conservator, who happens to be her dad, actually he's not right now, it's a long story, but her conservator has control over every aspect of her life, even something like this. You see how I'm sitting here and I'm vlogging freely? She is not allowed to even go on social media. She's not allowed to read the comments on social media in fear that it's going to trigger her disability. And they're claiming the reason why she's on a conservatorship, because you would say, well, geez, Britney Spears, you know, even if you're not familiar like with her, she was a huge entertainer in the early 2000s, late 90s. So I mean, to go on stage and perform and remember lyrics of songs and all of that, like they're claiming she has dementia. You see, her father initially was the one who was her conservator, and he started this as a way to control her, I believe. And it's just gotten really ugly to the point, like, where there's allegedly she is a prisoner in her own house. Her Instagram makes people really sad because it's just the same thing over and over again. It's just like her always dancing, her just taking selfies, whether it's in her yard or just with the same drained look upon her face. She truly looks depressed. And then people in the comments, which I guess she doesn't read, because she's not allowed to. She's not allowed to go live. Everything has to be approved. Every single person in her life has to be approved. It's just, it's crazy. I'm 37. I think she's a couple years older than me. Having that amount of like that amount of control in your life must be like crazy. She already lost a certain amount of control due to fame, but now it's just a whole different ballgame. And this whole thing started with her dad. She had her little blowout. Now imagine having like one of the worst times of your life, going through a custody battle in front of the whole entire world. That's what happened to this woman. She shaved her head. It was all over the news. Back then, 10, 15 years ago, nobody cared about mental health. Nobody cared about, there was no suicide awareness month, and people truly dragged this woman and made fun of her. Okay, so here comes the conservatorship. Here comes her dad using her children, basically saying, if you don't do this conservatorship, this is hearsay, that they were going to use her children as tools, as pawns, I should say, to essentially control this woman. So now it's 12 years later. She doesn't want to perform anymore. And, you know, she wants to be out of the conservatorship. You know, there seems to be, now we don't know her. There seems to be like no signs of dementia or anything like that, but we don't know her on that level. But here's my point. Here's the whole point. I'm watching this, and, you know, my husband's even saying to me, like, why do you care so much? Why do I care? Number one, she's a person. Do I love her music? Actually, yeah, I love a couple of her albums, but that's not the point. She's a human. She's a human, just like you and I, and she deserves the same freedoms just like you and I. And she has rights. Even if she has dementia, y'all, guess what? She has rights. It doesn't mean that she can't control every aspect of her life. Okay, you want to say she's so disabled, okay, and she can't control her finances, fine. You know, have an attorney, not her father, look over her estate. So it's a whole big shit show, y'all. If you want to like really get into the Free Britney thing, I don't have all the time to explain it all. There's a lot of crooked people involved, a lot of people who are just not in this girl's corner, who literally just want to make money off her. These conservators and anyone who's involved in the conservatorship, they get paid big money, okay? And this girl does not leave her house. She just, if you look at her Instagram, it's just a great sneak peek into what her life is like. Okay, so it's really, really sad when you really, really think about it. You know, this is a person. This is just not like, you know, some people are like, oh, why do you care? Blah, blah, blah. She's a person. And if that was being done to anybody, I would say something about it. It's modern day slavery, and the fact that like they're using her own money, like this conservatorship, all these court appearances, all this stuff, it's being paid for by her money, and she's being held prisoner. Yes, she lives in a mansion, but so what? Like, you know, there's a saying, you don't got to be in jail to be doing time, and you can flip that. You can be a prisoner in a mansion. Like, don't tell me, okay? So she's on this conservatorship. She's been on it for 12 years. It started as temporary. Her father, who was an alcoholic, allegedly, he's just not fit. They have someone else doing her conservatorship right now. I am just like with Britney, and I think whatever she wants should happen, and that they should let her out of this conservatorship, and let her hire her own lawyers, let her hire an accountant to handle her finances. You know, it's just crazy what people can do when it comes to mental health, and it's just even more crazy to me how there's still a stigma behind it. How people are just seeing 12 years later what is wrong with the situation. Okay? No one should be held prisoner and be told if they can have a baby, if they can get married, if they can buy a fucking latte at Dunkin' Donuts. I really want to mail Britney a fucking a copy of the Constitution. You know? It's just so sad. And she's never, like, I don't know what their goal is. I would imagine, like, something like a conservatorship has a goal. What is the end goal here? I would imagine it would be for, you know, for her to be the best Britney she can be. To be the healthiest, like, you know what I'm saying? And I just don't think that's what this conservatorship's about. They don't care if she's healthy, because they just want her to make as much money as possible. You know? So it's just crazy. Everyone's got their hand in her pot, including her little sister. That's as much as I'm going to talk about it. If you guys want to know more, you got to do your own research. There's so much. But it's just, she's literally supporting probably about 30 people off of her hard-earned money. This is why we say money is the root of all evil. It will literally have your family just doing horrible things to you, keeping you inside a house all day so they can make a little bit of money off you. It's just insane. Go out, like, and get your own fucking money and figure out a way to make your money. Like, there's so many ways to get money. Like, to rip off your own flesh and blood is disgusting. It's disgusting. So, you know, I was watching a lot about that, and it didn't trigger me, but I just wanted to talk about it. Like, anyone who's being controlled. And this is legally being done to her. That's why I always say, just because something's legal doesn't make it okay. This is legally happening to her. Okay, so next time someone says something to you like, oh, well, it's legal, it doesn't mean it's okay, because slavery was legal at one point. And plenty of people would say, oh, well, it's okay, it's legal. No. And I'm going to tell you, as far as mental health is concerned, where I live, if I get committed to a mental institution, I can never get a license to carry. There's so many things that I cannot do. That's insane to me. That I can't exercise one of my constitutional rights because on the off chance that I get sick. And the only difference between mental health and regular health, physical health, is your mental health is your mind. And if your mind isn't working properly, if you don't get it fixed, the rest of your body isn't going to feel right. So this law that, okay, so you go to a mental institution, you get better, you get on the right meds, and then you can never have a license to carry for the rest of your life in this state, the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. God forbid somebody gets raped, something happens to them, you know, and they were committed to a mental hospital 30 years ago. That's where little things have to change. Now, of course, we don't want to give everyone with mental illness a gun, but in theory, I mean, when you look at the correlation between school shootings and antidepressants, I think the number was somewhere in the upwards of 90% of every single school shooter was on antidepressants. So look, mental health is important. If you have a friend and you think they're exaggerating about, you know, whatever they're going through, think that. Don't say that to them, and just listen. Most of the time, people just need someone to listen to whatever they're going through. And when you talk about someone like Britney Spears, there's so many people who are in the same situation, who are not in the limelight, who are not getting a Free Britney campaign, and they just want someone to listen to them. And Britney doesn't really have that. She's got a bunch of people around her who, God knows, she's not going to get someone who's going to give her, like, good advice. You know, but think about the people who aren't in the limelight. They just want someone to talk to, and they don't have that because their lives are being controlled. Now, look, some conservatorships are great. Okay, they truly do help people. But other people use them to their advantage to make money. And people can be controlled without these conservatorships. Let's talk about it. I mean, people who have mental illness can be controlled. And it's so wrong. If you are in that situation, then you need to reach out for help. If someone is using you and you have some sort of mental illness, it makes it all the worst. That person is like the scum of the planet. And if anything, like, I got your back, okay? If no one else does, I got your back. Okay, so I am just going to put some lipstick on. But I wanted to talk about that, just like the craziness that should not be involved with being crazy. You feel me? Britney Spears has dementia. Ugh. So yeah, you guys, it's Suicide Awareness Month. Please listen to your friends. If someone calls you at a weird hour wanting to talk, listen to them. You know, like I said in the beginning of this video, suicide has personally affected my life. And I want to kind of leave it with this. You see, a death doesn't just affect the person who is dying. Matter of fact, it doesn't affect that person really at all. When you are no longer here in the physical form, your life on this planet is done. One person's death will probably affect about 100 people. So if you're thinking about ending your life tonight, there are people out there, or whenever you watch this, there are people out there who you would never even think believe in you, and they do, and they are inspired by you, they're motivated by you, and they want you to go on. They're depending on you to go on. Your life matters to so many people, okay? It's not just about you. So if, you know, you're thinking that no one's got your back and no one cares about you, you are wrong, okay? You are wrong. You are highly mistaken. There is at least 20, 30 people that deeply care about you, and there's 100 people who care about you and got your back. And that's just like average numbers, but that's the reality of it. Like when you're really thinking about, you know, leaving this earth, think about that. You know, think about someone's life, someone else's life, who maybe you've inspired along the way or looked up to you. Think of that, you know. Think of whatever you can. Think of so many positive thoughts and so many positive people who want to see you do good, because we don't want to see you 6 feet underground. We don't. Okay? All right, y'all. I am done for the night. And just that 15 minutes of talking about some things that bother me, because seeing someone being controlled bothers me, I feel better. Okay? And, you know, if y'all need someone to talk to, talk. I've said it before. Vlog. Start a vlog. It's not about views. It's about you. How you feel inside. All right? If you guys have any questions about any of the makeup I use, link is in the description. But thank you for watching. And, yeah, if this helped one person, then it was worth it to me. So, all right, y'all. Good night. Good night as I try to put this away.